The Q Radio Pets Corner.
With Brandy Dog Food, because they're 100% family. You know you're giving them the best.
Q Radio. Q Radio.
Coming up, we discover how the role of the USPCA has changed in Northern Ireland and why the dominance theory of dog training is dangerous.
The Q Radio Pets Corner.
Now, many of our listeners may not be aware that the role of the USPCA in Northern Ireland has fundamentally changed, and joining me is David Wilson, the press officer. You're very welcome, David.
Thank you very much.
How has the role of the USPCA changed?
The USPCA have been around since 1836, and the one thing they've managed to do over the years is change. As society changed, needs changed, the charity changed with them. Most recently, new legislation that came in Northern Ireland in 2012 changed the role of the PSNI in animal welfare investigation work. They are not the front line any longer on animal welfare investigations. That now falls to the local authorities, who have got a team of animal welfare inspectors, 9 of them covering the entire province. They are the people who will go out and investigate and have all the powers to seize animals, to enter premises, to carry out prosecutions.
And I suppose, David, it's important for the public to know your role has changed, because I'm sure you probably get lots of people still ringing you thinking that you do come out to rescue animals.
We do, and we will help them and guide them and point them in the right direction. But I think there has been a misunderstanding over the years about the role of the USPCA. They have never had powers to lift an animal. The animals were always seized by another agency, such as the PSNI.
Also, you now have hospital in Newry.
We'd opened, call it, I think, a state-of-the-art animal hospital with the full veterinary service in Newry. It's doing great work with not only pets, but also with wildlife.
Another service that you're providing is food packages for animals.
I suppose a sign of the times, we will provide a package for the pets. A lot of people who use the food banks, the animal very often are their only companion. They were depriving themselves and they were sharing it with the animal. Well, they don't have to do that anymore. They can pick up a box with all the needs for their dog, cat. And it's a very sad problem, isn't it, when you've got a relationship with an animal and you have to give it up because simply you can't afford to keep it. If we can do anything to help, we will do it.
And of course, David, if people want to find out about the role of the USPCA and the services that you provide, they can go onto your website.
The Q Radio Pets Corner.
Thursday's Pets Corner Trivia. Did you know that the Beatles song A Day in the Life has an extra high-pitched whistle audible only to dogs? It was recorded by Paul McCartney for the enjoyment of his Shetland sheepdog. So dog owners, if you want to know if your dog can hear it, then play A Day in the Life and see how your furry friend reacts when the track reaches around the 5 minutes mark.
The Q Radio Pets Corner.
Pet behaviourist Dr. Sarah Millsop continues to explain why the dominant theory of dog training is so wrong.
Dogs will behave in a way that allows them to have access to the things that they need. So if you allow them to have access to those things in a positive way, and you encourage the behaviour that you want to see with praise and reward, there will be absolutely no need for your dogs to behave in an aggressive or confrontational way. And interestingly, dogs have an entire repertoire of body language which is about avoiding conflict. So if you see signs in your dog, things like seeing the whites of their eyes, if they're licking their lips, if they're yawning, if they're looking away, can indicate a dog that is trying to avoid conflict. So they are actually animals that would prefer to walk away from a dispute, and whenever you see a dog behaving aggressively, you know that it has absolutely reached the end of its tether and it feels it has no option but to use aggression to defend itself, and that's when you know you're pretty much getting everything wrong.
So if we can get rid of this idea of dominance, it really affects how we look at the whole way we train our animals.
It really does. It's a really dangerous theory, simply because if people think that their dogs are trying to elevate their position in the house, quite often that leads to the justification of the use of physical intimidation, of mental intimidation, of using really negative ways to train your pets. Sooner we get dominance out of the language of dog training, the better it will be for all involved.
The Q Radio Pets Corner.
With Brandy Dog Food, because they're 100% family. You know you're giving them the best.
Q Radio. Q Radio.